by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown.
Hello and welcome back to an episode of 3 Guys on Mic. My name is Jeremiah here, joined by my 2 co-hosts,
William,
Little man.
and today we have an NFL episode. First time in a while since season ended. As we all know, the Combine is going on. Free agency is coming up, right? Players are getting traded. This week has been crazy. Moves I did not see coming happen, right? Let's dive right into it, okay, guys? Starting off here, I'm going to go ahead and Aaron Rodgers, right? A guy, you had the whole last dance last year. You don't know, is this his last year in Green Bay, right? Is this his last year owning the Bears, right?
Yeah.
What's going to happen, right?
Bears, yeah.
As we see in the same day, he signs. Yeah. Re-signs, right? Huge $200 million contract, over $150 million guaranteed, right? I love the signing for one. You get a franchise tag Devontae Adams, right? They're both staying, right?
Yeah.
Then on that same day, Russell Wilson gets traded to the Broncos in one of the biggest blockbuster trades I've ever seen. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 3 players. Like, that is mind-boggling, you know what I mean? And what I'm going to ask first, the question I'm going to ask first, because Aaron Rodgers, like, that's what that is. You mean, like, we kind of saw the one coming, right? But what I'm going to ask right now, I'm going to ask you, the viewer, this too. Who won this trade?
Denver
Did the Seattle Seahawks or the Denver Broncos win this trade? Because I'll tell you right now, my answer is not one that you likely agree with.
I have to say this. Shout out to Coach JB from
Coach Jason Brown.
Yes, Jason Brown, right? You have to be top tier stupid to actually think the Seattle Seahawks won this trade. I think it has to be very top tier. Whenever you trade for an A-list quarterback with a talent like Russell Wilson, you won the trade. I'm sorry. That's literally all I have to say. Especially when you get Drew Lock out of it. I'm sorry. That's an L in itself. Don't get me wrong. Noah Fant is a great player. I've always liked him. And Shelby Harris, he's an underrated defensive tackle. And we don't know how those picks are going to go. But, man, it's looking bad in Seattle. I mean, Pete Carroll, going on 65. His retirement's coming soon. DK Metcalf is not happy. They're looking to move Tyler Lockett. Yeah. They just released Bobby Swags. And it's literally the opposite in Denver. Young talent, young defense, young new head coach.
You move heaven and earth for a...
It's looking good. And the real Big D. Denver.
Oh, Dallas? I was like...
Dallas.
No, I get
the real Big D in Denver.
Alright, so that's Lil Man's answer. Willie?
My answer? I could go both, being honest.
Okay.
I could really say both. Only time will tell. But listen, one thing is that the Rams, they set the trend. This is now the mentality for NFL teams. It is win now. As we know, years and years, it has been you draft your team, you build a team from the ground up, and that's the way you do it. It isn't like the NBA, but now you understand that teams are a quarterback away from being an elite team. Denver is a quarterback away from being an elite team.
They're not the only one.
Now, again, I think that this trade was necessary, considering the fact that you're in a division that is the toughest in the NFL. You play against the Chargers twice a year, the Raiders twice a year, play against the Chiefs twice a year. I think that the Broncos, they needed to do what they did, and looking at this roster, that defense flies around. Again, I think they were 3rd in scoring defense, I believe, right? The way they performed in Week 17, Week 18 against the Chiefs, they were pretty much they shut them down the entire second half. I think that this defense could be great. If they aren't great, they fall short of that. You have Russell Wilson as your quarterback. You get Jerry Jeudy, who, as we know, had very high hopes coming out of Alabama, but again, we haven't seen him with the likes of a quarterback like Russell Wilson. Now we're gonna see how he is. We're gonna see how Russell Wilson and him click. It's gonna be a great connection, hopefully.
Cortland Sutton
as well, and also that running game. You have a good running game, as he did in Seattle.
Get rid of Melvin.
Let's also not mention that the new head coach for the Broncos coached a guy named Aaron Rodgers. This man knows what to do with an elite quarterback. Going on with your side, I know you're gonna pick Seattle. Seattle is, I think they also won in their own right. You kind of got rid of the players they had now. You kind of got picks for the future. It's just time's gonna tell when it comes to Seattle. You don't know what you got when it comes to Seattle.
We'll see.
So I'm going both. What about you?
I'm about to cook you boys right now. Yes, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. Yes, time will tell for Seattle. We don't know what those picks can turn into. Let's not forget this New Orleans Saints team in one draft drafted Offensive Rookie of the Year, talent and a defensive rookie of the year talent in Ryan Ramczyk and Marshawn Lattimore. Right? They did that in the same.
Right.
They did that in the same draft.
Yeah.
Same draft. Okay. They have multiple picks. Now, yes, Denver Broncos phenomenal receiving core, phenomenal quarterback play, but you have no picks. You have no picks going into the drafts. Your O-line struggles. I'm not a Denver Broncos fan, so I don't care to watch the games. However, the games that I do watch on primetime, it was atrocious to watch Drew Lock or Teddy Two Gloves run for their lives as they're being chased. The pressure was put on them.
That's true.
Yes, you're like, yeah, having Russell Wilson is nice. However, you have to have a contingency plan for that. Like, are you going to protect the guy? Oh, you can use a draft pick. Well, you just gave him all away to get Russell Wilson here. And they'd eat a massive contract. Russell Wilson had a massive contract from Seattle. Moving forward, yeah, Jerry Jeudy, yeah, he's a good player, right? He's also struggled phenomenally with drops. He's dropped ball after ball. You could put a highlight tape of just drop balls in his career. But and then you didn't even mention KJ Hamler. KJ Hamler is phenomenal receiver from Penn State. Yeah, I'll give you the receiving core. Defense, yeah, the defense flies around. However, let's keep in mind, you have to play the Chiefs twice a year. That's 2 tough games. Hey, don't look now, but the Raiders made the playoffs last year. That is still a very tough team. Let's not forget, J.C. Jackson, right? He's going to be a free agent from the New England Patriots. If he signs with this Oakland Raiders team, Las Vegas Raiders team, which I believe he will. That defense is something scary.
Yeah,
that defense is something scary. I'll tell you right now, that defense is something scary, okay? And then you still have to play the Chargers twice a year, and it's going to be a shootout regardless. It's going to be a shootout regardless of the Chargers. Justin Herbert's way too talented, right? Front runner, dark horse MVP. I got to say it right now, okay? Like I said, I think simply getting Russell Wilson does not equal, we won the trade, when they got they got 2 stars and the third okay player on that team, okay? Phenomenal picks. They are gearing up for a full rebuild. It is no secret. But I believe not even years, a year from right now, things will be different. For Seattle. And I believe they have a future. You just have to see it through. You have to have a vision.
I mean,
that's what I'm going to say.
Listen, I agree with what you're saying with the AFC West being very tough, but Russ came from the NFC West, where the Rams...
Where he struggled last year.
Yeah, where the Rams won the Super Bowl, where the Niners were up and coming and played great defense. It's like he's going from one tough division to another. Yes. I think he can handle it. And again, you're just ignoring a lot of things like Russell Wilson. Bringing a guy like that to your team could change a lot. Jerry Jeudy, with the drops, I understand that. You don't know what a guy like that could do to a receiver, and they could click and they could just go off.
Yeah.
So you never know. And again, with Seattle, with those picks, things might not change. You still have to play the Rams. You still have to play the Niners. You still have to play the Cardinals. It's like you never know.
Thank you for reminding me.
What?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they haven't played the Rams. Yeah, 2 years from now, the Rams, I don't even know if they'll be a franchise anymore at this point. All their cap and all their pick, they're gonna lose, I don't know, 6 starters in 2 years from now. 7 starters are gonna be gone.
But all that's gonna go away if they look at their finger.
No,
look at that ring. They're not. I'm telling you,
that makes sense.
The age of the NFL is changing.
And then they got to play the Cardinals. Yeah, they're having a Kyler Murray problem. They don't even know if they want the guy.
He added his pictures back on Instagram.
Okay, he doesn't even know if he wants to be there. Okay, throw the Cardinals out the window. Wow, that's a really tough division there, Will. That's really tough, right?
No, here's the thing with the division statement, right? You said that they still have to play the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers, right? Which one of those teams did they not give a tough time to when they played them this year?
All of them.
All of them, right? They give them a tough time to all of them?
Yeah,
right? The defense, right? And I want you to show me how many points Drew Lock put up in the second half against all the games.
No, I'll give you that. Drew Lock.
And if you look at it, that second half against the Raider game, the running game, that's all it was. It was just the Broncos running the football.
When you have Melvin Gordon and Devontae Williams, and now you're running play action with Russell Wilson and arguably
who can extend plays, let's not forget.
In the league, and KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy. I can't even think of the possibilities. I can't.
Time will tell. News today. Khalil Mack has been traded. Oh, how did I not mention this? Khalil Mack got traded to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, who's going to block that guy? Oh, okay. Garrett Bortles? Yeah, okay. Get out of here. Go back to Utah. Go back to Utah. Man, how did I not mention this?
No, this is
how did
great.
I not mention
No, this is great.
Lord have mercy.
No, this is
You're
great.
going to have Bosa?
This is great.
And Khalil Mack?
This is great, bro.
Russell
Okay,
Wilson's going to be praying to future for help, bro.
Listen, as we know, the Chiefs are at the top. But the Raiders and Chargers are going to be eating at each other. They're just going to be going at it. Broncos are going to escape through it, and they're going to be the second team.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
they're going to escape through it.
It does make sense.
Oh, okay.
The Raiders, so you're telling me right now you trust the Raiders more than the Broncos? You trust the Chargers more than the Broncos?
Oh, my. How did I forget this, too? The Raiders have Josh McDaniels as their head coach.
Oh, first year.
Oh my lord! A first year head coach. Yeah, he should have been the Colts head coach 5 years ago, but he's like, you know what? I want to win more Super Bowl rings.
Listen,
What was his team's record last time?
I don't think Josh McDaniels understands he can't play the Jaguars and the Jets all the time.
Lord, okay, very funny, yeah.
Listen, all I'm saying is I feel like you're just hating because it's Russell Wilson.
I'm not hating.
I feel like, and you
we
guys,
beat him. We beat him in the Super Bowl.
You guys know the way I feel about Russell Wilson. I think he's a top 3 talented quarterback in the NFL. Top 3 talented. You could argue the stats, whatever, but I literally do think he's gonna change the culture of that team. I think he's going to change the way that team operates. And when it comes to clutch games, as you know, the NFL is all about being in the clutch. He's going to change a lot of that.
And what did Denver get out of the Seahawks trade? The 2/3?
Yeah. So, and it isn't like they have no picks. You could turn a third-round pick into gold. You never know. And there's also free agency coming up to draft an offensive line.
There's a team in the NFC East right now that's looking to shop their right tackle. And we'll gladly take those 2 third-round picks. I'll get rid of La'el Collins. I'll give him to Denver for us.
There you go. You solved Maya's big issue right there.
Hasn't happened yet.
Tomorrow morning.
So, tomorrow morning?
You still haven't gotten to Khalil back. But I do think that is a very good pickup, or a very good trade for the Chargers. I think that's something you address. That's well needed. And again, you pair him with Joey Bosa, who's one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. Again, I think the big thing with the Chargers team, winning close games. Your team they're there on paper. They're there in any game, they're always in it until it's too late. You have Justin Herbert, who's a baller, top 10 quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't know, man. I think this was a good pickup, but it wasn't game changing for me. It wasn't. I don't look at them any way that I would look at the Broncos and seeing them as a dangerous team going into the playoffs.
Here's a game changer for me. All these pickups, right? The trade. Just have a coach who's. I'm still kind of iffy about Brandon Staley's decision making, right? Hopefully he'll fix that this year. The game changer for me. You look at adding Evan Ingram. He wants out of New York. I mean, who doesn't want that organization? You look at Evan Ingram, but then they still have the first-round pick. Well, they give up a second and a 6th for Mack.
Yeah.
They get Jamil Davis from Georgia, that 6'6" nose tackle. That's the game changer for me. Because the big problem they had last year, they could not stop the run whatsoever. They could not stop the inside run to save their lives. And what did the AFC West team do?
You're playing against Josh Jacobs,
Devontae Williams, Melvin Gordon. Yeah. Hell, even when the Chiefs, when they're healthy, Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the playoffs, they won.
Patrick Mahomes at one random down.
Yeah. That one third down in the third quarter.
And he doesn't even look like he's actually running. He's like he's jogging. But yes, I think that's the game changer. But where they stand with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, those two coming from the sides, I mean, Jesus. All hell's going to break loose.
Now, don't look now. But a year ago, no, months ago, days ago, I said the dynasty did not end. It did not end. Mac Jones, what does he do? He goes on to lead his team to the playoffs. No. Let me get my take here, Aaron. He goes on to lead his team to the playoffs. He goes to the Pro Bowl, and he hits a 60-yard gritty. All right? I've never seen nobody ever hit a gritty like that in my life. For starters, right? Don't look now, but Amari Cooper is going to get released by the Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys. And he's a 1,000-yard receiver. And he's picking up the phone. And he's flying to Foxborough. He's going to Massachusetts. He's getting some clam chowder. And he's going to say, yeah, I like it here.
Clam chowder.
Bobby Wagner.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner gets released by the Seattle Seahawks. And you know what he's thinking? Man, I still got some years in me. I can still play ball. You know what? I'm gonna do what every smart veteran does when they get released. I'm gonna go play for the Patriots. I'm telling you right now, that is a tough player.
No, hold on.
No. Let me keep going here.
That's what you said last year. You said they were set for the future.
Let me keep going. Kyle Van Noy gets released by the Patriots. No longer a Patriot, right? We lose our linebacker. Oh, why do we lose a linebacker? Because we're getting Bobby Wagner. Bill Belichick is 4 moves ahead of you.
They knew it, They knew Bobby Wagner was getting released.
Exactly. I agree. Thank you. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, I'm gonna pull a Jeremiah.
Mm.
Does Amari Cooper play defense?
Oh my God.
I said Bobby Wagner.
I mean, you know what he does? He
I don't
sits
think
out.
Bobby Wagner.
He sits out clutch situations.
I agree with you. I think Amari Cooper has a lot of baggage. If anyone who signs him, Eagles, please. But if there's any teams who, I mean, there is pros and cons to a player, and I think one of his cons is that when it comes to big time games, I saw myself week 17 or week 16, 2020, 2019, whatever, in Philly when he wasn't
in the division.
Yeah, when he wasn't in. Yeah, for the division, one of those games. And again, also happened with the Patriots 3 years ago as well. In a time, I think it was the fourth down, he wasn't in the game.
Huh?
Because there are certain things that you kind of have to work around when it comes to him. But your take on the Patriots, Bobby Wagner isn't stopping Josh Allen, the Bills' offense. They scored 8 straight possessions. I don't think Bobby Wagner's just going to stop.
So Bobby Wagner's being by himself?
The way that defense played, he probably is going to be by himself.
There was a defensive end who used to play for the Detroit Lions. He recently got released.
Yeah.
His name's Trey Flowers. I don't know if you heard of him. Oh, ring. Hey, how's it going, Coach? BB? Oh, yeah, listen, I want to come back.
You know what that's?
I want to come back for a veteran's minimum.
Coach, this turned into a Patriots
now.
You know what that's equivalent of? That's like Dwight Howard going back to the Lakers this year from 2020.
Phenomenal player.
That's what it's like.
Phenomenal player.
This went off track. Where do you guys think Amari Cooper could go? What do you think?
Wait, could go? I want him in Indianapolis.
I would say
Pittman's one though. Pittman's gonna take a big step this year.
No, I mean
he has to.
I
He already
mean, yeah,
did.
either way, if he does take a big step, I think Amari Cooper, them as a 1-2 punch would be great. But I'm just saying, I don't think he would sign because he doesn't even know who's going to be there as their quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like you don't.
Is
he really going to go with Jimmy G?
A lot of uncertainty.
He's going to downgrade from Dak Prescott to Jimmy G.
Why not Miami?
I mean that is a good point.
Let
Why not
Devontae
Miami?
Parker walk. Why not Miami?
I mean, I would agree. I mean, you saw the flashes that Tua.
Waddle and Cooper. That's nice.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty nice.
Why not New Orleans?
And they re-signed Gesicki. That's nice.
Mhm.
New Orleans, Mike
Franchise
Thomas.
segment.
That's nice.
Okay, can we move on to the most heartbreaking trade in my opinion this weekend? Or actually this Wednesday, I think it was. Yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Your boy, the man himself. Sadly, Carson Wentz has been traded back to the NFC East, but to now the name called
The
the Washington Commanders.
The Commanders, yeah.
Dope name. That's cool.
I disagree, but I don't know. It's interesting for the storylines. It does suck.
Very interesting.
It does suck because I was set and bought in on him being in with the Colts. I do think that they could have made it work, but they didn't. And again, a lot of people before all this news came out about Wentz having issues with his own head coach Frank Reich with the offense and stuff like that. They kind of just zeroed it down to that week 17 or week 18 performance in Jacksonville. I think that loss wasn't exactly on Wentz. You look at it, Jonathan Taylor wasn't getting the rushes he needed. The offensive line wasn't playing well either. That defense wasn't playing well at all either. But now that you kind of see the reports that come out about Carson Wentz, it's kind of eye opening. You see where he's going now. He's going to a place where the front office isn't really the best. That division you could say is trash, but I do think the Eagles are on the rise.
Trash is overstatement. Dumpster
Is it
fire.
overstatement?
Dumpster fire.
No, listen. You could say the NFC East is trash, whatever, but you do have the Eagles team, and again, Wentz.
Yeah.
People do get in his head. He has to go to that home crowd once a year, and again, even when he plays in Washington, a lot of Eagles fans are there. So it's like it isn't like he's gonna escape that noise.
It's an East Coast.
He has to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna be good by any means. The only good thing is, I do think he's playing now with the most talented receiver he's ever had in his career. Terry McLaurin is probably the most talented receiver, aside from Alshon. When I say in 2017,
Or Green Beckham?
yeah, I forgot he existed. But yeah, I think that is a bright side. You have a good offensive line. Your defense is shaky at times, but that pass rush, that front seven is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It just, my biggest thing though is I don't want to root for Carson Wentz if he's wearing those ugly colors. Again, it's going to suck seeing what Eagles fans are going to do to him when it comes to the trash talk, all that stuff. But when it comes to the Colts, you really don't have anything to do. I understand you didn't like the fit with Wentz, but now your other option is Jimmy G. The AFC is getting drastically better. I don't really see any options. I think you tweeted out yesterday. They get who? If the Colts got who?
If the Colts signed Jameis and a top wide receiver that's on the market, considering
No.
who's there.
No, I don't think the Colts is that roster. Looking at, you can name 3 teams at least from the AFC West. You can name the Ravens as well. They're going to come back healthy. What are you doing?
No, I can't believe the word just came out of your mouth.
You can name at least 3 teams. Chargers, Raiders, who you think are a great team for some reason. The Broncos, the Chiefs, the Ravens, who could come back healthy. The Bengals, I think you could also look at the Steelers if they get a top quarterback. You could just
Okay, but just because the Chargers and Broncos, right? There's two teams, obviously. But last year, people were having the Colts as a heavy underdog as Super Bowl contenders with that roster.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get rid of Wentz, you add Jameis, who I think is honestly, in my opinion, is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz.
No.
You don't think so?
James,
past
I
year.
don't think James Winston has a 4-1 touchdown to ratio. I don't think. Listen, Carson Wentz with the COVID-riddled offensive line won on Christmas Day against the Cardinals on the road, and it was through him too. It wasn't just them running the ball. He also made a bunch of big plays. I'm just saying the Colts. It's kind of like, yeah, you got out of that whole deal, but now you're really stuck. I think you're stuck right now. I think Washington won the trade right now. I mean, if the Colts make a big trade or they get a good quarterback, fine.
Matty Ice.
But yeah, Matty Ice. But again, Matty Ice, that's just us.
Huge
thinking-
contract.
Yeah, that's just to me, it's not realistic to happen.
I
But
still think
yeah,
they win the division.
I mean, yeah, that division is horrible.
Calling it before they
I think that division is the worst division in the NFL. But it sucks for Carson Wentz. I feel like he's not happy about this.
I still think it's ours.
Okay, moving on to our last topic here, guys. Right? If you made it this far, guys, go ahead and comment down below what your favorite team is. So we look at the comments.
Not the Cowboys.
Yeah, we look at the comments. We can see who made it this far. Moving on here, guys. Okay. Now I'm gonna go with 3 players, right? So 3 players. Right, I'm gonna name 3 players. This is something I've thought about. Haven't seen a single post. Haven't seen a single article. Not even Barstool's mentioned this. Okay. 3 players who are young and talented, right? However, they have gotten injured. Okay. Saquon Barkley has gotten injured in the past, right? Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey is dealing with injuries, and Chase Young with an ACL tear. Okay. 3 players, right? 3 players, right? Injuries are a big part of the NFL. Play a big role. Look at Luke Kuechly, Andrew Luck, 2 guys that are retired
early
in their primes. You understand? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. You know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. But I could say this. It's hard for me to believe Saquon Barkley will ever play at the level he played in his first years in the league. I don't believe Saquon Barkley will ever be that player again.
I agree.
And that's a hard thing for me to say. That's a hard thing for me to realize because he is a phenomenal talent. He's a phenomenal kid. But he'll never be the same again. And I truly hope Christian McCaffrey gets it figured out in Carolina and stops dealing with his lower extremity injuries. But there's a good chance Christian McCaffrey might not return to the all-purpose back we're used to seeing. To the 2,000-plus all-purpose yards we're used to seeing from Christian McCaffrey, right? Chase Young, coming back from an ACL tear, is a very tough feat. He plays a very physical position. He plays defensive end. He takes on 300-pound, 330 masses of men, right? You mean? Play in and play out. Plays very tough, right?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel Saquon Barkley will ever be an all-pro? Do you think he'll ever play at that level again? Will Christian McCaffrey ever be an MVP type of player?
I only think if Saquon finds a new team, I think that's the only way he shines.
Yeah, I
Because
think
last year, his best game was probably... Hell, I don't even know. I mean, I can't even think of one, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only
Probably
highlight
against the
I've
Saints.
seen... Probably this is the Saints. That's probably the only one. Pinpoint straight on what you just said.
Yeah, I think it sucks, and it's something that we've been calling for a long time to get him at least a new offensive line. We saw week 1 2 years ago what the Steelers did to his offensive line and him. And I do agree with you. Looking at highlights from his first game even in the NFL, just the way he looked, how explosive he was, that burst, I feel like it's gone. And it's not really his fault. It's like you can't really have a burst like that when you tear your ACL and you have a bunch of injuries over and over, and your offensive line isn't doing anything to help you. So, yeah, I do agree. I don't think he'll be the same. McCaffrey, I don't think he'll return to that, as you were saying, all-purpose back to getting 2,000-plus yards. I feel like they're going to try to limit him to his many
touches.
Yeah. And I think that was also a big thing that a lot of people were saying about him when he was coming out of Stanford. That is he a guy to get 25-plus touches a game and not get hurt? And we've been seeing it. It seems like it's not sustainable. It sucks. Chase Young, I feel like he has the best bet. Just because of his body type, the way he's built. And also, I feel like he doesn't need as much explosion. I think as a running back, I think you need more of it because that's kind of your bread and butter. I think with him, he could also rely on his upper body. He could kind of move people. You know, so I feel like I feel like Chase Young, and it's only been 1 injury. And he's still very young compared to them. They're 2, 3, 4 years older than him. So I think that he's going to be okay. But it just sucks to see that that's kind of the story of the NFL.
Okay. Just for the viewers, right? Test some knowledge, right? There used to be a running back, man. Talented. talented. Number 1 pick 2 years in a row in fantasy football. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about here. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about here.
Joe Mixon, yeah.
No.
Oh.
He was a running back that everybody wanted. And injuries hit him. And he was never the same. And now his career is dying in Houston.
I think I know. Oh.
And that is David Johnson. David Johnson
hell no.
He was
like number 1
He was
pick.
only number 1 pick 1 year.
He was a man to be feared in Arizona. He was, I mean, beast mode, beast quake runs. I mean, a phenomenal player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kids, they don't even know who he is. They have no idea who the guy is, and it's sad to see. I truly hope that Christian McCaffrey and Saquon do not turn into that type of player. I truly hope that does not happen.
I hope not. But here's the thing. Can you say that there's a theory that maybe NFL teams are overworking
their players?
Running backs? Because let's have some names. Zeke, I understand he gained some weight, but now his injuries are lingering. His knee, right? McCaffrey gave him the ball I don't know how many times because they trust more in him. He was the pinpoint of that offense.
Yeah.
Saquon, they wrote on him his whole rookie and second year.
Alvin Kamara.
Right? Alvin Kamara, his injuries are starting to linger as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it throughout players through the end of their career. Maurice Jones-Drew, right? He was heavy worked. CJ2K was put into a lot of trust holding the ball, carrying the ball, right? It's just a lot of other people. Adrian Peterson, you can say.
A lot of years.
Him as well. I just think it's just all about overworking the back, and I think that they have to just rely more on getting everybody else involved.
And that's why, I mean, scouts have said it year in and year out. It's unfathomable now to take a running back
as your first pick.
in the first pick, in the first round. Mm-hmm. Like you could get value in the third. You just need a guy to hold the ball and run. Like you mean like
it's a little more complicated, but I do agree.
I'm not saying like you're not top tier athletes. You know what I mean? But like
I get you.
Like
it's kind of plug and play.
Yes, plug and play. You mean like I feel. If I could get the number one ranked running back in college in the first round, or I could get the 15th in the third round, I'll take the 15th guy in the third round because he has the odds of him giving me the same production is you know what I mean. And like if you're going at a higher pick in the first round, you're playing for a bad team. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean. But like that's one thing. Thinking about injuries, right? Thinking about injuries that. Yeah. It's kind of scary. Moving, you mean? And
another one too, I think, is probably the biggest one, honestly, in my theory, what I just said, is Derrick Henry. That's what happened. He was damn near going to hit 1,500 yards halfway through the season. Broken foot. Yeah. I mean,
and when he came back?
Exactly. Has he ever had an injury like that ever in his career? It just starts to show how much you overwork these running backs.
Yeah. There's two things. I love your point about saying that it doesn't really cost to pick a player that high, because if you think about it, the number 1 team in the NFL when it came to running the ball was the Eagles, and who were the guys who were carrying the ball? Jordan Howard, who wasn't necessarily a high pick, Boston Scott, and then Miles Sanders, who was a second round pick. Yeah. So it's like a lot of those players aren't big time players and big time names coming out of college, but they make it work.
Yeah.
And then also another thing, and there was a quote with Tom Brady, like I think a year ago, saying that the NFL has gotten softer. But the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want the NFL to be softer because you have these players playing for a longer time. If the NFL was still just this hit, ground and pound game, we'd have more players like Saquon Barkley, and a lot of careers just cut short. So I think that's a big reason why the NFL, they're taking out a lot of the hits to the head, hits below the waist to the quarterbacks. It's because of stuff like that. So I kind of think the NFL is kind of trending in the right way and to keep the players safer. And it just sucks because, again, you need three players who have phenomenal talent, and it could be great, but we don't know now because of their injuries.
And exactly. With that being said, I feel like it takes more appreciation to the players who played in that era.
And stayed healthy.
Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, Tom Brady.
Peyton Manning.
A lot of people.
Peyton Manning. Drew Brees' hell of a career.
Drew Brees. Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Listen, I'm going to close the episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 3, guys. Mike, hopefully you guys having a conversation as we're having a conversation, right? Our dream, our aspirations. When you watch these videos at home, when we're giving our takes, you're like, nah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or like, oh, you're agreeing with us and giving your take, right? That's what we want. We want feedback, guys. We want you to interact with us, right? Like, we don't think we're better than any one of our viewers. We're just 3 friends who are passionate about talking about sports, and that's what we're trying to give to you, right? This is a phenomenal thing that we're doing here. Thank you guys so much. If you like what you hear, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell your auntie, tell your uncle, tell somebody about us. We appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much.